And welcome back everyone. For today's video I have two Suruga-Ya packages that I will be opening. One of the packages primarily contains some anime that I purchased, so I will leave that for another video because I do have some anime and manga that I would like to show as well. But the rest should be figures and some books, so very excited to open this package. This is how they came, just for y'all's reference. So this came from the Suruga-Ya English website, which does not require a proxy to purchase from. Everything is in English. Their search engine could use some work, but if you counter search with the Japanese Suruga-Ya website, you can kind of more or less find mostly everything, but there are still certain items that they don't list on their English site. That does include R18 stuff, so if you're looking for Dojin in particular, unfortunately you will not find it on the English website. But they packaged their stuff very well. Each of these came in boxes that were pretty true to size to what the dimensions of this wrapped set of items were. You can tell this one's a bit looser, so just be mindful of that if you get a bunch of items that are similar and then one big item, that the way they wrap it may just be a bit looser. Now, so I won't spoil the rest, I'm going to set these to the side. And I will say these cardboard sheets are pretty nice for packing other stuff, so I tend to keep them. All right, so the first few things that I have are volumes 2 and 3 of Yotsubato, the manga. And I got this because in my Japanese class, our Japanese instructor showed us a couple pages from this manga, which does have an English release, but she recommended it because the language in it is very simple. It's a good entry manga for anyone trying to learn Japanese, and manga in particular is really cheap if you buy it straight from Japan. I think these were like less than $4 each, and it depends on which one. Now obviously this is yellowed, but again, I'm primarily going to use this to study Japanese, so that's really not an issue for me. And as you can see, it still has all those little pamphlets. Was that Angel? Oh my gosh, Deers. That is such an old manga. So you can obviously tell why this is so yellow. And there were two versions on Suruga-Ya. I wasn't sure which would be accurate or would be the official one, but one seemed to have more kanji in it than, like, this one you see has more hiragana. Yotsubato. Yeah, and obviously it has the author's name on the side. But yeah, she said the language in this manga is quite simple. It's very easy to read, especially for beginners. And then obviously manga will have, well, I'm blanking on the name, but basically if you see kanji in manga, they tend to also put the hiragana on the side. That way those who have never encountered this kanji can still read what is being said, which is very useful. It allows you, if you're learning, to still understand and actually start to recognize certain kanji and how they're supposed to be read. So very excited to finally have this. This has been on my wish list for a long time because I was looking to buy this for that purpose. Unfortunately, they sold out of volume 1 while it was in my cart. It was in my cart for a while, so that makes sense. And I'd been going to half-price books because the half-price books in my area do get some Japanese manga every now and again. I'm assuming people, you know, who bought it overseas just bring it and sell it to them. I did get like a Disney's Twisted Wonderland manga not too long ago, but I've never stumbled across Yotsubato there, so I figured let me just go ahead and get it. And these are in great condition, you know, obviously the yellowed pages, but other than that, this feels like a brand new book. It still has these little sleeves, so the difference between Japanese and Western collectors is quite different. Alright, the last book that I purchased was this. This is Sentimental Circus, and I was just curious to see if this had any artwork in it. It seemed like a picture book. Oh, it is. Oh, it's so pretty. I've always liked the style of Sentimental Circus. Oh, this is gorgeous. And this looked like it would be a picture book. and I primarily wanted it because of that. Oh wow, this definitely includes a lot of the artwork from some of their series of stationery, which is great. They've really gotten a lot more pastel-y recently, so I haven't really been interested in some of their more recent stationery sets. But I still appreciate and really like the original style, so I was very happy to see. And I think this one was also extremely cheap. I think it was like less than $4, less than $5. So yes, very nice to have this. Again, pristine condition. It's still very glossy. It still has its jacket. I wonder what's inside the jacket. Oh, neat. Too much for me to read. I can't read that. Okay. Next, we'll get into some of the figures. I have 4 in this package. So not a lot, but excited to open them. All right. We'll start with this one from Firen. This is a character I actually cosplayed for DragonCon last year. And this box is pretty beat up, but I think that's primarily because of the way it was shipped. She was on the side. She came with the package with all the anime, so obviously her box was pretty much taking the brunt of the force in that. So that is one downside. So I guess you do have to be careful as to what you pick when you purchase multiple things. Just maybe try to keep all the items very similar so that they can be reinforced. But this looks brand new. It still has the tape in it. But it's obviously been opened. I don't really care about that. So long as the figure's fine, I don't care too much about the box. Did not realize my camera was falling. Sorry about that. But here she is. This is Fern, Firen's pseudo-daughter / partner in crime. And if you've never seen Firen, it's a very wholesome, very nicely animated series about kind of a D&D fantasy-esque setting of this elf girl who lives for thousands and thousands of years, finishing her quest with her party of fighting the Demon King, and kind of the aftermath, realizing that the time she spent with her friends was very precious to her, and she really should have tried a little harder to get to know them while they were still alive, because obviously they're human or some other species that does not live as long. So stuff happens. I won't spoil it, but I would highly recommend it. This figure is very cute, and I already have a Firen, which is why I got her. So I do apologize for my chickens. They're going crazy right now. For a prize figure, and a noodle stopper one at that. There's some licensing here at the bottom. Yeah, this is a very nice figure. Really like it. And obviously she can sit down, so that'll be really nice. Okay, I had to change my angle because I think my tripod is falling from the weight of my phone. But let's move on. Next I have, I don't think that's how much I paid for her, so that's pretty nice. But it's pretty cool to see the prices and whatnot. And I do like that they add, I don't think this is tape, it's just a plastic band. Wow. They must have had her for a long time for that to stick. I am not a fan of these cute posket figures, to be quite honest. I think their style's a little, I don't want to say creepy, but I don't like it. I primarily bought this because I have Pluto's most recent prize figure, and she's quite tall. But even though she has the pose for it and her hand is curved around in a circular motion as if she's supposed to have her staff, she does not come with one. And I don't know if they're going to release a version later that will come with it, but I have seen online that, this is brand new. Wow, I didn't realize that. But yes, I've seen online that you can use the staff from this figure to put in her hand, and it actually fits and looks pretty good. So I decided to go ahead and get this one. And it looks like there's 2 versions as well. I don't know what the difference is. I got the matte one, which is, I think, a little nicer. I don't know. I see these cute posket figures all the time, and I just don't think they're that popular, so I'm surprised they still make them. So So here's her figure. I mean, it's very well done, and she does feel heavy. She's got what appears to be a glossy finish to her eyes. I don't think they're inset, but they look like they are because of the paint job. And then her outfit's really cute. I mean, it's accurate. She's got her keys, her small little choker, and the back. And then the base is nothing special, just the standard disc. Although it does have filigree on the side. Here's her staff. Wow, this is small. I understand why they probably didn't want to make it one piece, but still. So it looks really nice. Thicker than I thought it was going to be. So I'll pull out the prize figure later at the end of this video and show y'all what that looks like. And hopefully it looks okay. The next two figures are pretty much filler. I did make this purchase during a sale where I got a significant discount, I believe, on the figures that I ordered. And certain categories received discounts as well, but you had to buy a certain amount. So that's why I have all of these. I mean, technically it's not good to just impulse buy stuff, but I have been eyeing these figures for a minute. This one's actually not for me. I'm still going to open it because my sister doesn't really care about that stuff. But I'm curious to see what it looks like. This is Shishomaru, noodle stopper figure from Inuyasha. Classic anime. It aired on Toonami for the longest time, and I think they still aired it last time I had cable, which was a couple years ago, admittedly, but it tended to air in the middle of the night. But my sister and I loved staying up to watch it. She in particular was a huge fan of it, still is. I did not finish Yashihime, which is the most recent incarnation of the series, where they feature their daughters, the children that they had after the main series. But my sister did catch up, so. And over the years, it's really funny. She was a huge Inuyasha fan, and I think I was too. We hated Shishomaru. He was kind of an a-hole. But as we grew older, we started to like him more than Inuyasha. So I knew she might like this. Oh, wow. Honestly, the pictures I saw of this figure did not make it look good, but in person, his face isn't bad. Like, he's acceptable considering his scale, and all the detail on his robe is really good. Oh, focus. He's quite hefty as well, which makes sense. He has a lot going on in his outfit, so he's not going to be very light, considering all the plastic needing to be filled in. But really cute. Happy I got him. He was, I think $20. Most of these figures with the discount, I made sure would not be more than around $20, because these types of figures really aren't, or they should not be worth more than that, considering their scale and, you know, the quality. But for being prize figures, they're really nice. Alright, the last figure is the Trio Triot figure from Rascal. I've not bought a figure from this brand before. It is a prize figure, though, of Hatsune Miku. But in this particular iteration, Miku changes so often nowadays to fit the style and theme of whatever she's coming from. It's really funny. And at this point, I think I have 3 of these. Technically, I have 4 Miku figures but 2 of them are part of, like, she doesn't really look like Miku anymore because they changed her so much. But it's still Miku, so the fact that I ended up getting another Miku, and they just announced a new Miku that's kind of in a Lolita dress that I'm kind of eyeing, but I'm hoping she gets a color variant because I would like her in black or purple. Wow, this has a lot of bubble wrap. This is one figure I'm surprised does not come with a blister. Okay, so she came with 2 wings wrapped in the bubble wrap, which is good. That was the main part I was worried about. Oh, these are new. I thought, oh no, they're not. They just open the different way. So here's her base. It's actually really pretty. I like the ornate border. I don't know what to call that. Here's some licensing at the bottom. It just says Furyu. Oh, this is Furyu. Okay, I have bought figures from Furyu. They're the ones who made the Noodle Stopper figures that I have, where she kind of looks like a demon, I think. But here she is. Very, very pretty. She's got a lot going on, considering how small she is. She's maybe like 6 inches tall. I didn't realize she came with this little guy. I kind of want to cut him off. But yeah, she's got a lot of detail. It's really nice. A lot of her outfit is different paint jobs. Like the top of her skirt is matte. And then this belt thing around her waist is glossy. Also this little strap on her thigh. Her boots are glossy too. And she's got her classic shade of teal. She's really cute, and she's got these little metallic chains along her waist and belt. Her tail is springy. I don't know what it's made out of. Obviously probably plastic, but it's not. It feels like it could snap, but I mean, I guess they didn't feel like she needed a blister, so it's probably fine. She's got little horns on the top of her head. So cute. And then this little guy in front of her. Oh, her hair actually is movable as well. That's a little scary. And then her wings are these glossy finish. Very solid plastic. I'm just going to leave them as is. But there we go. She's super cute. Oh my gosh. I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to get her because I didn't want to have a ton of Mikus. But I'm kind of glad I did. Now, again, she is a prize figure, so there are some areas where you can kind of tell the quality wasn't the highest. Like fingerprints in her paint job. And then right here is where they connected. So this is obviously mass produced, so they probably mold her in different pieces and then put her together. You can see the seam lines. So the seam lines are not smoothed out, you know, completely. But, I mean, for how much I paid, she's really, honestly, I think worth it. Really cute. And her base is a little wide for my liking, but I think it makes sense because it separates her from other figures on your shelf more than likely, so that they don't hit her hair. But overall, she's super cute. I'm glad I got her, actually. Very excited to add her to my shelf. And that's actually it for this package. I will take a better thumbnail picture later since I still have to film the DVD one. But I hope you all enjoy it. I'm very happy to have everything that I purchased. Again, I did purchase most of these things through a sale. Suruga-Ya English now starts to have them a lot. They always had the free shipping sale, which is nice. That's the primary reason I buy from this website versus just going through a proxy like I usually do. The Suruga-Ya English website does offer free shipping campaigns quite often. I would say almost every other week. As soon as one finishes, I feel like they have another right after it. So there's a very good chance you could buy everything that you want without having to pay the Japanese shipping to your country, which is really nice because, as we all know, shipping can get very expensive, especially if you're someone that buys full-scale figures. The dimensions of those boxes tend to bring up the price quite a bit. Or if you're someone like me who likes to buy manga or doujinshi and things like that, books are quite heavy and the weight adds up, which again adds to the price of the shipping cost. But they're also just nice to have. It's also just nice to have the freedom to buy whatever you want. There's certain items I've never purchased from Japan through proxies because I wasn't sure how much they would add to the weight. Like, I think I got an umbrella from Suruga-Ya English before, and that was one of the things I've just never purchased because I was worried about the dimensions. So it's really nice that they have these campaigns. The downside, though, is obviously they don't have everything listed on their website that they do from the Japanese Suruga-Ya. They really, I think, only carry items that they probably store in a big warehouse, so it's easy for them to collect, versus the Suruga-Ya Japanese website allows you to purchase items from individual Suruga-Ya shops. There's various locations throughout Japan that you can visit, and each one, whatever they're selling, is listed on the original Japanese Suruga-Ya website. So you have a lot more options there. Obviously, they also include adult items. In addition to that, their prices are significantly inflated on the Suruga-Ya English website. If you look and compare between the two, I think she was at least $10 more, $5 to $10 more on the English website. And this is probably to kind of counteract the shipping costs they're offering to people, but it does make it, you know, not as fruitful of a purchase as Suruga-Ya often is, because they are a secondhand website. That said, I do think they still have really good deals. Every now and again, certain items will go on sale. The Japanese website is the same. A lot of items will just have random time sales where you have a specific amount of time to buy them for that price. Then they'll go back to the standard price. In addition to that, they have site-wide sales, which is how I got these items. Certain categories were being given, I think it was 20% off, 25% off, something like that, but they had to be under a certain category. So you had to buy a certain amount from a specific category to actually get the discount. For figures, this is pretty easy. I think the minimum was 8,000 yen, which is like $70, 65, something like that. And with each one of these being minimum $20, I mean, that was pretty easy. That was an easy threshold. So with those discounts, they more or less become the price that you would pay if you were buying from the Japanese website. For the most part, I do think some items are still a little more expensive in that sense. One other thing to note is that when I first started using this website, there was a service fee, which is pretty normal. For Suruga-Ya, it used to be 500 yen, but now it's 900, which is still not too bad. I think that still comes out to like $6, $7. And that very well could change when the yen's value starts to get higher, but right now it's still pretty low compared to the dollar, so we're fine. Now, let's see what this looks like, or if I can actually use this staff for this figure. This is my Sailor Pluto prize figure. I forgot who she was made by. She's okay. I got her a little more expensive than I wanted her to get her, but you know, they don't make much of her, so beggars can't be choosers. And there we go. Honestly, this looks great. I'm so happy with this. I'll get a better shot of her on my shelf for y'all so you can see. But this is actually a nice size for her, and her real staff obviously is a lot longer. I think it's more or less her height, but this is a good alternative because you can obviously get her 3D printed online, but I think for around the same size as just getting this staff. So I'm happy, very happy that that actually worked. For anyone wanting to try this as well, it's easier to take the staff apart and slide the bottom through her hand, where because this thicker part at the bottom more or less prevented me from doing that. Oh, she's got a scrape over here. How'd that happen? But yeah, happy to see that actually worked. That's pretty much it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.